Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of FitzRupee Cast featuring DoW2 Retribution. Red-Rupee here with you today, and before we get started, I'd like to get a couple announcements out of the way, as I usually do. This weekend we've got the ESL Mid-Range Player Tournament happening, and that's for all you guys that aren't considered top players and everything like that. ESL will actually be kicking all the top players out of there. No Dark-Riku, Tex, Wurgle, Holy Hammer, any of them. Don't worry, you're not going to see them. This is for the mid-range players only. So any of you that have been kind of hesitant to try to hop into any of these tournaments recently or any of the big player cups here because you don't feel like you're quite up to par with the other players, check this out. It's going to be lots of fun. Tournaments are always a great way to get to learn new players, try some new strategies, and just have a good time and watch some games, play some games, and meet new players. Anyways, I know I always rant about that, and if you are interested in tournaments, I did upload a whole pile of videos. I know I haven't been doing my regular episodes as much. I've been doing a bit more live casting of community events, but I'm trying to keep this going as well, of course. And check those out. I know the audio is a little rough on some of those, but we'll keep it going and see how that works out. Hopefully I can get my live stream recordings a little better next time. Unfortunately, I don't have the time to go through and edit all 22 videos and get that audio lined up. So anyways, let's get started with this game. This is actually the Game Replay's replay of the week here. This is going to be, as we can see, DonQichoka versus Rainbow Dash, who is, that's actually a moniker of JamusMcGamus over here as our NID player, who we are having a little voyeur through the window here right now. So let's go ahead and get this started. We're on Green Tooth Jungle, as always, this long stretched out map. I know we saw Green Tooth Jungle Redux played a couple times in the tournaments recently. And right now we've got the Lictor Alpha on the red side right here, sneaking around, and we've got the Kommando Knob. So two sneaky, stealthy commanders that'll be running around, harassing, getting into lots of trouble here. And we'll have to see how it goes. We're seeing a pretty standard build order, of course. We've got the double slugger, double shooter, not double slugger. That's not very orthodox at all. Double shooter and double termagants coming in, and pretty standard cap orders. You can see Mr. JamusMcGamus prioritizing that power, while DonQuichoka's Kommando Knob sneaking into the middle, trying to grab this contested wreck point for some extra wreck early on here, which is always good for orcs. Really want to keep that red wreck income kind of heavy because you're going to lose some models here and there, especially with the Lictor Alpha running around. As we can see, that first flesh hook goes off. Already snags a shooter model, and he's probably going to get a couple more before they get out of here. Yeah, he got one right there. Trying to get some damage. You can see DonQuichoka is doing a good job of kiting around, keeping the Kommando Knob and shooter boys firing on that Lictor, and he does have to fall back. Of course, that's still a good engagement for JamusMcGamus because he did keep those 3 squads tied up, forced one of them off, so DonQuichoka wasn't capturing that whole time. Meanwhile, the 2 Termagants grab the bottom VP, and of course the Hormas up here grab both of their points and heading in to get some wreck in the middle there. So you can see Jamus knows that Kommando Knob sneaking around in there somewhere, not bothering to leave those Termagants out where they can get shot up by that twin-linked shooter he has. That's always kind of his claim to fame, is that nasty 100% fire on the move that he's got. Does excellent damage and some pretty nasty damage on retreat. It can catch you off guard, so you really got to be mindful of that when you're fighting against the Kommando Knob and trying to cut your losses there. So in the meantime, let's see, we've got 1 generator up and both nodes up for DonQuichoka and Jamus respectively. Right now we're seeing the Lictor once again sneaking around, gonna engage that Kommando Knob. Obviously, he's not going to be able to deal with that melee, and probably going to have to get out of here. Looks like he's just going to try to run away and cloak out of there, but I'm sure the Lictor has a flesh hook ready. And actually not sure what's going on there. In the meantime, we've got shooters and sluggers engaging these Hormagants over here. Oh, a nice looking stun bomb over there, allowing the Kommando Knob to retreat out of there without taking too much more damage. He was already down to half, but he's going to fall back now. We're seeing burners and big shooters upgraded on these shooter boys. I actually probably would have expected to see the shooter knobs come up before the big shooters. because that helps you keep track of that Lictor Alpha and minimizes a lot of your shooter bleed early on as well. So I guess he's hoping for the damage output and the aiming what's that ability to kind of help mitigate any tyranid trouble he encounters here. And right now we're seeing the slug is engaged, but oh, nice looking knockdown by that Lictor Alpha. You can see looks like that Lictor does have to get out of there. The wall goes off, and that Lictor might actually be in a lot of trouble right now. Got 7 HP. Those flamers are going, but oh man, there they go. Get one last shot, take out the Lictor, and DonQichoka decides to cut his losses and get out of there while the getting's good. Probably not going to do much more damage to all those gaunts, so despite taking out that Lictor, there's no reason to stick around, especially you got the Kommando knob coming in. Jamus has no form of detection, and you can see these stick bombs coming onto the field now, so I bet you we're going to see a couple of these Termagants go boom here in just a second. He's moving into position. Here goes the throw, and a nice pile of sticks. Oh, excellent reaction time by Jamus. Actually saved all of his gaunts right there. So pretty good play right there. I'm not sure if he was waiting for that or what, but he instantly saw those grenades and got the heck out of there. So right now we've got a full power farm for DonQuichoka, looking pretty much even on power, except Rainbow Dash has spent next to none so far. Only really upgraded, as far as I know, those 2 toxin sacks. So looking pretty good right now. Rainbow Dash hitting tier 2 right now, a bit before Don. Don's going to be about half a minute behind on that. Oh man, some nice positioning on those sluggers after those Termagants got pushed off by all the big shooters. And there goes the aiming what's that, keeping that Lictor still so those sluggers can come in. Pops the wog. Everybody's doing a little extra damage here. That Lictor doing a great job this time of getting all those special attacks and keeping those sluggers off of him. Unfortunately, they are chasing down those Hormagaunts like nobody's business. Looks like only one of them's getting out of there. And the last one actually only had 20 HP itself. So right now, that Lictor's still causing lots of trouble right now. Getting a nice looking sink kill there on some shooter boys. Meanwhile, the Commando's been running around capping some map. You can see the Commando's been acting pretty independently throughout this match so far, whereas the Lictor's kind of been working with his army to cause some trouble. So 2 different play styles from those 2 different stealth commanders so far. Of course, we've been seeing Jamus controlling pretty much most of the map here. Don really only has the central requisition as far as contested map goes, but that's getting decapped, which is unfortunate because it was fully matured. This rear rec point finally getting up to speed here, but as of right now, Jamus just taken pretty much the entire map. Don only really has his 2 natural powers and the 1 rec on this far side, so 1/3 of the map right there, kind of defending as best he can against the Lictor and his 3 Gaunt squads. In the meantime, I'm not sure what he's waiting for. Oh, he's just trying to outlast, wait for those Termagants to get the cap and hope that Jamus was looking elsewhere. But Jamus has just been on top of just knowing right where the Kommando nob's going to be. Oh no, the Hormagant spotted him, and they're going to engage him in melee. He's not going to be able to deal with that. Has to get out of there, especially with those 2 Termagants coming in as well. Still no sluggers on those shooter boys. Oh man, Lictor's got his combat lead now. Jumps right into combat. Mitigates, you know, all that range damage that he would have taken on approach. And now getting suppressed a little bit right there with the aiming what's that ability, but the Termagants are coming in, pouring some fire into those shooter boys. They need to back off while they have the chance. And in the meantime, Slugger's trying to get in here and help this Lictor. But with those 2 toxin sacks on the field, yep, there they go. They're not going to be able to engage at all. You really have to keep in mind whenever those Termagants are around that your melee is not going to be getting anywhere as long as those toxin shots have not been used. Anyways, the Kommando now's been upgraded with his special shooter, which gives him some nice knockdown attacks, and of course that dreaded explosive shot ability, which can be so devastating against these big old pile of oh man, look at that shot. Oh, that was a pile of nids all into bits right there.
300 points left.
And that was pretty nasty. Right now, though, we can see this Lictor just kind of tying up all of the Orc squads. Rainbow Dash, JamusMcGamus going straight into Tier 3 now, not getting anything in Tier 2 except that combat jump. Has both of these farms full going for a super fast tech, while DonQuichoka DonQichoka, meanwhile, grabbing himself a weird boy. So that's going to be pretty painful for Don, depending on what Jamus decides to get for himself. But Jamus been doing an excellent job of just harassing and holding out with that Lictor and his 3 Gaunt squads. And now just going to be able to push into Tier 3. We're going to see what that brings. You can see he's just got a huge pile of requisition right now. Lost quite a few Gaunts right there in that explosive shot, of course, but really not much else. Been causing some great wreck bleed for Don, just causing some attrition, just enough to keep him trying to vie for map control here. And more harassment by the Lictor, preventing yet another cap right here. 2 Termagants decide they're going to fall back in the face of that weird boy. They're not going to be able to deal with him. The Lictor can probably go down and deal with him whenever he feels, though. And we can see the Hormagaunts kind of just hanging back up here, just waiting for that Kommando knob to waste his time, go up, cap this, and they'll probably just turn right back around and cap it if he doesn't see them. So, yeah, it doesn't look like he's going to engage. Just hanging back there, waiting to get the cap back. So, pretty sneaky tactics back there. In the meantime, we've got, what do we got going on here? We got Sluggers, Shooters, and the Weird Boy all hanging out down on the lower middle part of the map. Looks like Jamus was going to try to get up there and support those Hormagaunts maybe, but decided to just fall back and take out some lone Shooters. Meanwhile, Lictor once again just running around by himself at this point. Upgraded the Toxin Miasma ability as well, which gives him a little bit of damage over time. Reduces damage. Oh man, and it looks like our first Lictor is already on the field. So we've got 2 Lictors at this point in the game, and Don really only has, as far as Tier 2 stuff, this one Weird Boy. Luckily managed to knock that second Lictor off the Sluggers and only lost a couple models right there. Combat jump taken out, 1 more on retreat. In the meantime, I don't know why these Termagants hadn't engaged these Shooters. That may have been a down squad, or at least pushed off the map, if nothing else. Kommando's called onto the field, and Don now going into Tier 3 himself. We can see he dropped himself a little surprise mine right there, but the Hormagaunts came in from the other side, and that's not going to make too much of a difference there. There goes an explosive shot, taking out another pile of Termagants. And we're waiting to see what happens up there. Burn-a-Bomb going down, and didn't even have to use Love to Daka. Jamus was not quite paying attention there. So that's always something to keep in mind. You don't need that Love to Daka on those capping squads sometimes, because that Burn-a-Bomb can do some serious damage. Looks like, oh man, another Termagant squad almost goes down right there, but you can see Jamus just pumping out the Lictors at this point in the game. That's going to be very difficult for Don to work with right now. He really only has the 1 dedicated melee squad, and no real detection on the field yet. No snobs on either the Shooters or anything right now. The Commandos, of course, will be able to have some sight, but he's really going to have a hard time keeping track of all these Lictors at this point in the game. Jamus still having tons of requisition and really just transforming himself into a bleed-free army anyways. Once you get out all these Lictors, unless you lose the Lictor itself, obviously you're not going to have any requisition bleed at all. So the Lictor Alpha jumps in and has to retreat, but after doing all that damage to the Sluggers, they're going to have to get out of there as well. The second Lictor is on the field now. Both Lictors going to be probably engaging these 2 range squads. Although the Weird Boy's doing a good job of keeping the 1 out of commission. But here comes the combat jump. He's jumping right on top, right into a pile of orcs. And just attacking the squad. And the advantage to attacking the squads, and there it is instead of attacking the Weird Boy, you attack those squads and just cause all kinds of friendly fire. There goes a Burn-a-Bomb and Love to Daka, but it looks like the Commandos themselves are trapped in the range of that Burn-a-Bomb. The Lictor's working on the last member of that squad in the meantime. There goes a Flesh Hook, but it actually gets Flesh Hooked the right way. Oh, but the combat jump takes out that Kommando squad. Oh man, we're just seeing a little bit of cheese here from the from the Nid player. 3 Lictors on the field. That's 4 with the Lictor Alpha, of course. That Weird Boy is going to be in a lot of trouble if he gets caught out of position. I think with 4 Flesh Hooks, he'll just outright die. So we're going to see what Don brings on the field right now. He could bring some knobs momentarily, but I'm not sure if that'll stand up to all the Lictors. I'm actually not sure who would win those engagements between, especially with that many Lictors. I feel like the Lictors would. So, oh man, we see these Gaunts just get destroyed, but that's all of Jamus's Gaunt squads actually. That's both Termagants down and the Hormagaunts. Don bringing some knobs onto the field at this point. We're going to see how those shape up against all of those Lictors, because that's really all Jamus has on the field. Here comes another. That's going to be 5 Lictors on the field. That weird boy is going to need to be very careful with his positioning. This is the Lictor Alpha down here, of course, without his health bar since he died earlier. Have that good old bug. And we're going to have to see where this goes. Knobs coming onto the field in just a second. Not sure if they're going to stand up to all of that, but if they stay supported with their army, they should be able to take out these Lictors. So I'm surprised we're still not seeing knobs on these shooters. You can see right now these Lictors just tearing up those sluggers right now. Oh no, the sluggers are turning back. Why are they turning back? Oh, 2 sync kills. I thought the whole squad was going to turn around and get meleeed to death right there. 2 models escape. The shooters get out there without much issue. 1 model goes down, and looks like that last flesh hook didn't quite connect. In the meantime, we have Frenzy coming up on these knobs. They've already got their meaner and greener upgrade. You can see that little plus right there, and some jammers coming up as well. One of those Lictors is retreating right through those knobs, but I don't think they're going to get the kill. They realize that and don't pursue. Of course, we have a Carnifex now coming onto the field. Don's going to have some trouble here. He's already down by quite a few VPs. You know, he's down by about 200 VPs. He's bringing some Orc Tier 3 hurt onto the field, though, and trying to combat these Lictors. The thing is that they're just all very independent units, of course, seeing that they can just take on just about anything by themselves. A nice combat jump out of there, escaping both the Warp Vomit and those incoming knobs. But the trick is going to be holding VPs at this point, because those Lictors can kind of just run around wherever they please and take any of those VPs without having too much to worry about. And as I've said, Rainbow Dash just doesn't have to worry about bleed at this point. None of those Lictors obviously bleed models or anything like that. And now all he has on the field is a Carnifex to aid those 5 Lictors. Now with the Barbed Strangler upgrade, oh man, and just annihilating those shooter boys. The boys were called right there, but it's not going to make much of a difference with 3 Lictors and a Barbed Strangler Carnifex on the field. They just need to get the heck out of there while they can. You can see the Kommando knob set a little booby trap right there and then just immediately blew it up, trying to knock out one of these Lictors, trying his damnedest, but with that Barbed Strangler there, oh man, look at the damage that's doing. He's just going to have to get out while the getting's good. One of those Lictors actually getting very low. If these shooter boys can continue to fire, oh man, it looks like it's going to get out of there with 60 HP. And you can see this Lictor is already level 3. That Lictor's level 2, level 1. So Lictor's getting leveled up and getting nastier as time goes on. If those Lictors are microed well, it's really difficult to take those down. Of course, they can cloak. They've got the combat jump and the flesh hook. So they're really good at disruption, do some excellent damage as well. Now with this Carnifex on the field, you're going to have to find yourself an answer to that as well.
Who you need removed?
So we're going to see, you can see Don's trying to maneuver around here a little bit and figure out what he wants to do. Spore Mines spawned off of that Barbed Strangler Carnifex now. Moving in, probably going to try to suppress those knobs and keep them under control. There goes the first Barbed Strangler shot. Those knobs trying to take out some power. I mean, really at this point in the game, if you know your opponent has had 2 power farms up this entire time. Oh man, that weird boy getting annihilated by Lictors right there. And oh no, there goes 2 flesh hooks on retreat, and that's it for the weird boy. Oh dear. Weird boy, oh no, linking onto the knobs as well and knocking them all over. Oh man. So Rainbow Dash just sitting on tons of requisition, tons of power. what I was saying there before those knobs got forced off and that Weird Boy exploded is that when your friend, you know, when your enemy, your opponent rather, has 2 power farms up the entire game, I mean, you know that destroying one of those farms really isn't going to do much. You know, Jamus has almost 400 power at this point in the game, so there's really not much he can buy. It looks like one of these Lictors might finally go down. There goes one of the Lictors. Meanwhile, Commander's engaged in an epic battle down there. Of course, the Kommando Knob's not going to be able to win that against a Lictor right now. These Slugger Boys actually doing a good job of trying to deter those Lictors with the help of the 2 shooter squads, doing some pretty decent damage, but not going to be able to stand up to that Carnifex one way or another. Especially, oh man, just look at the damage it does to those Orc squads. Slugger's actually getting some pretty decent shots off there on retreat, but not quite getting it down to 36 HP. In the meantime, Lictor's retreating through some knobs. Oh man, one more shot and he would have gone down right there. Trying to chase that Kommando into his base and take him out, it looked like. Kommando now, in the meantime, getting the rocket launcher. Gonna be DonQuichoka's answer to those Carnifexes that are coming onto the field. Jamus bought another Lictor and another Carnifex, so we're gonna have 5 with the Alpha, 5 Lictors on the field and 2 Carnifexes right now. So this has just been a ridiculous game so far. This is the kind of pressure you see when the Nid can just keep you locked down and keep you vying for map control early on this time. As we saw, he can kind of push right through Tier 2. He literally bought nothing but a War Gear in Tier 2 and just trucked straight ahead into Tier 3. Because Don just had to do everything he could just to keep his side of the map going. So excellent play so far by Mr. JamusMcGamus. Of course, I know a lot of people aren't going to be enjoying the Lictor spam. Everyone's going to be shouting cheese and spam and everything else, but I mean, hey, Don let him hold 2 full power farms for most of the game, and now we're seeing the deadly result of that. So, oh man, that combat jump turning some Orcs into bits there, getting one last one on retreat as well, and oh, the Barbed Strangler just blasting away all kinds of shooter boys right here. So 3 Lictors hanging out on the top point, 2 Carnifexes now moving into position, Knob's still on the field, Don floating all kinds of resource. He must be holding out for a battle wagon at this stage to have that much on the field. And really, that'll help him cut down. He can just stick all those Orc squads in the battle wagon and have all its guns ablazing. I can hear some rocket fire somewhere. There goes the Kommando trying to get some rockets on this Lictor, but of course, the Lictor's just going to pull him into melee. And the other Lictor's actually trying to flesh hook him all over the place. Luckily, it didn't work out because he was still on his back and didn't manage to get the flesh hook off there. Just did some damage, and he retreated without too much harm here. So here's pretty much the whole of the Tyranid army right here. 2 big nasty Carnifexes, 4 big nasty Lictors. And but in a second, we're just going to see the biggest and the nastiest, the battle wagon coming onto the field right now. You can see Jamus trying to taunt some Knobs out into the battle. The Knobs are not going to hold up against this kind of power right here. But he is right. Don needs to get out on the field and pull these VPs back. And he's only got 150 left. He actually did manage to tick down about 100 of Jamus's VPs here over the course of the last few engagements. So doing a good job of stalling out and trying to get some bigger stuff onto the field. You can see the Lictor cloaked in, trying to get a look at things up here. Finally, a shooter Knob going to be able to spot those Lictors before they get into too much trouble. That Kommando needs to get out of there. Lots of Lictors in his retreat path. They can all flesh hook right now, and oh man, 4 flesh hooks is a dead Knob. Oh dear. Even on retreat, that was brutal. In the meantime, we've got a battle wagon coming on the field. I'm not sure Lictors can quite deal with that. 2 Barbed Stranglers and the Lictors actually probably going to do a little bit of reasonable damage right there. Not quite hitting its target though. Battle wagon's keeping moving, and all these Lictors going to move in. Death Roller going off, and oh, Lictor goes down. 2, 3, 4 Lictors goes down. Oh my god, that is all of Rainbow Dash's army right there. JamusMcGamus just lost 4 Lictors to the Death Roller. Oh man, that was just some nasty looking, just a deluge of death right there from that death roller. Oh, wow. That is some orky revenge right there. Coming from the battle wagon. I wasn't sure if that battle wagon would stand up against 4 Lictors and 2 Carnifexes, but now all we have left is 2 Carnifexes. So Jamus in a bit of trouble right now, just losing his entire Nid army. All the orcs are hanging around in this battle wagon, which is, you know, just gradually pecking away at both of these Carnifexes right now. Trying to pull the shot out, and I think he should just pop some of those squads out and get them on the VPs right now. You can see the Lictor Alpha still trying to disrupt that Kommando knob, but that battle wagon's doing a good job at taking on these barbed stranglers in the meantime. So there goes the stun bomb on the Lictor. DonQichoka needs to pop those squads out and get on these VPs. Get on the VPs, Don. You have a chance now. You know, he's got to be careful because, of course, you know, we can see right now, just looking at the difference in wreck income, that Jamus definitely has the possibility to come back right now. He still has 3 Carnifexes on the field and can probably start purchasing Lictors again if he chooses to. But really, I mean, DonQuichoka just needs to cap the map. JamusMcGamus only has 1 unit on the field that can cap it all right now, and that is, of course, his Lictor. He doesn't need all these extra guns on the battle wagon right now, because all he really needs to do is shoot at those Carnifexes with the main cannon. The only thing I would suggest is keeping those Slugger Boys nearby, so of course they can repair that that battle wagon, as it sort of needs some repair now. So Knob's having to retreat in the face of Lictor, Spore Mines, and of course a Carnifex. With the other 2 Carnifexes lumbering around, kind of patrolling the middle of the map here, trying to keep the pressure on this battle wagon. Those Barbed Strangler shots actually do some pretty decent AV damage. With this final Carnifex, yep, a Thornback Carnifex, so we have 2 Barbed Stranglers and a Thornback. But gonna have a hard time doing damage to that orc battle wagon. But we've got several squads. That's the only thing I would say. I mean, you know, DonQuichoka has a chance to bring this back right now. Can probably bring on, you know, not getting much wreck right now. Has a lot of upkeep, of course. Has several squads on the field. And not much map. These Knobs doing everything they can to try to cause some damage over here, but with these 3 Carnifexes coming in, I don't think they're going to do too much. So Lictor over here decapping the point. You can see JamusMcGamus just vying for map control right now, trying to keep this VP lead. I tried to combine those into 2 words right there, VP lead. But 85 points right now for DonQuichoka. All JamusMcGamus needs to do is just keep being sneaky. Here comes a shot from that Kommando. Oh, knocking him off, but just a second too late. He does get the cap, and that's going to be a few more points down for DonQuichoka. I really think just all these orc squads should have just spread across the map and taken all these wreck points back, and Dom maybe could have brought something else onto the field, but as we can see, he is pretty close to pop cap, so probably not going to see anything else so far. And all these big shooter squads could probably make short work of this Lictor if it hopped out once again. But we're going to see all those battle wagon guns firing. There goes a stun. Oh man, and there goes another Lictor with the dead roller. Perfect use of the death roller, again taking out a Lictor right there. So apparently, I was unaware, but apparently that death roller just kills sub-commanders instantly, as we've seen already. Oh man. That's 5 Lictors racked up for the battle wagon. It'll be interesting to see. Once again, JamusMcGamus down to just that Lictor Alpha for capping stuff. Gonna be able to try to interrupt these Knobs, pulling some Knobs apart and trying to hack them up one at a time here while they decap this point. He could probably pop Frenzy right now and mitigate some of that damage, but just going for the decap. A 2-0 cap. DonQuichoka really does have a chance to come bring this back right now. 3 Carnifexes on the field though, and a Swarm Lord coming as well. Unfortunately, with all these orc squads on the field, he can't really bring a tank or another squad of Knobs or anything onto the field right now. And, oh no, there goes the charge from the Thornback. Got 2 more swings on, and, oh, there goes the Kommando knob. So, we can see this battle wagon's gotten fixed up a little bit, but once again sporting all 4 orc squads, so just all of those guns would be blazing. In the meantime, Lictor's capping a point, 150 to 130 right now. Swarmlord gonna be able to tear up some of these knobs right now, especially with the help of that Lictor. And I'm not sure what DonQichoka plans to do against that. He really needs to destroy 1 or 2 of these Carnifexes to kind of get some map control back here. Of course, all those orky units just sitting on the field. It's definitely kind of a quandary trying to figure out how you're going to tackle 2 Barbed Stranglers and a Thornback. Weird Boy's coming back onto the field right now. Not sure exactly why. I mean, I guess that's one of the only things he can bring onto the field at this point. But these orky squads need to get out there and do something. It's both players down to under 100 VPs. Just a wacky game, really. Raveners on the field now as well. Jamus, I guess, just decided he needed something to cap, so he grabbed himself some Raveners. And Knobs and the Kommando Knob going to go down and try to deal with this Swarmlord. They may be able to do that. Of course, the Kommando Knob's rocket launcher does some pretty serious AV damage. We can see just in that one volley taking a nice chunk off of that Swarmlord. Oh no! And a Tyranniform down here on these Knobs. They're just going to stand there and take it because they need the decap. Poppin' Frenzy right there, trying to get... Oh, they're just getting knocked all over the place. Oh man, if that Frenzy wasn't activated, those Knobs would be very, very hurt. Battle Wagon in a lot of trouble right now, trying to keep these nids off the point. There's really got the commandos over here stealth decapping, and I'm really not sure. We can see how beat up the Swarmlord got right there. This Kommando Knob's still doing some pretty nasty damage to him right now. You can see down to 300 points. Battle Wagon's in a lot of trouble. Tried to death roll of those Raveners, did prevent the cap. Kommando Knob's got the cap on this side of the map, and 80 points left here. Knobs fell back. I'm not sure why the Knobs fell back right there. They could have stayed... oh, and that's the Menacing Visage. A nasty ability on that Lictor Alpha, which can cause any one squad to retreat. So he forced those Knobs off, let the Kommando over here by himself. He throws a stun grenade, which just doesn't barely hit, and that Swarmlord is going to be able to heal up and get out of there. In the meantime, you can see Kommando's doing a great job of sneaking around the map and causing some ruckus all over the place. Oh, 2 Barbed Stranglers goes off right as their energy runs out, and they do have to retreat. So 1-0 cap, going to be turned around by these Raveners here. Sneaky Knobs running around. Oh man, that Lictor got out with just 11 HP. Good use of Hide to Boys right there. That's the last. You can see Don's actually been using all of his red. Kommando Knob been switching between his Assassin's Knife and his rocket launcher right here. I guess he switched to that to try to take on that Lictor and his Raveners right now. But Don's just doing everything in his power to keep these VPs from bleeding off. It's really tied up right now. Right about 50 VPs for both players. So it's really anyone's game here. It's just been ridiculous right now. Of course, Jamus just hasn't been bleeding anything at all. He's got nothing but vehicles and his hero on the field. Oh man, a nice shot from that Kommando taking out a Ravener. And you know, JamusMcGamus just has all kinds of wreck left. He can really just purchase some more Lictors, which I guess he doesn't want to do until he takes out that Battle Wagon, as we saw. That Battle Wagon just made short work of Lictors. This Kommando Knob doing everything he can to try to take out these Carnifexes. Oh, the Raveners go down to a Battle Wagon shot, which came in. There goes a Carnifex. This could be DonQuichoka's chance to bring it back for him right here. You know, JamusMcGamus not hesitating to just bring more and more Carnifexes onto the field. But of course, these Knobs themselves aren't going to ever be able to cap this point with the Menacing Visage on that Lictor Alpha. So 32 points for DonQuichoka. He is going to be capturing the map. He took out 2 of the Carnifexes. And Thornback now charging him off the field. Another Tyranniform coming in. That Battle Wagon needs to get the heck out of there. One Spire hits it. The second Spire takes it out. Oh no, that Battle Wagon was really his last hope. Without that, I'm not sure what's going to go down. Oh, there's 2-0 cap. The last few VPs are ticking away. Don lost his chance right there. Perfect pressure there by JamusMcGamus. Oh, and that's the end of the game. Wow, after losing something like 6 Lictors, a squad of Raveners, and 2 Carnifexes, JamusMcGamus just barely pulls that squad out with a couple nice-looking Tyranniforms. You can see the scrap hulk of that damaged Battle Wagon right there. And wow, what a ridiculous game. Really, the highlight was obviously that Death Roll had taken out 4 Lictors right in a row there. But 2 Tyranniforms going down at the end, kind of sealing the deal. And Don was just not able to stay on the map after that with all of these vehicles. And, of course, the Menacing Bitches keeping those knobs from taking this last point. So that was a bit of a crazy game. No tier 2 for Jamus. Nothing but Lictors and Carnifexes for him. And wow, hope you guys enjoyed it. That was a nuts, I don't know. It was just fun to watch. Hope you guys liked it. Anyways, this is Red-Rupee. I'll catch you guys next time.